Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the USCO Media Channel. It's been a while since you have seen me. That is mainly because of PlayStation servers going out for basically a full 24 hours. I was going to do a pre-race report on D2 and D1, but when I was about to make my D2 pre-race report at Martinsville, that's when the servers went down, and it just went up before the D1 race started, and I was in no mood, unfortunately. However, we're here to talk about the playoff report going into the round of 8. This is post round of 12. I'm here at the Slinger Speedway. D1 will be racing here in a few days. It is Wednesday currently. D2 goes to Bristol, but man, Slinger Speedway. This is basically our Bowman Gray, if you will. This is our Bowman Gray of sorts. A quarter-mile track here. Always fun when we come here to Slinger, Wisconsin. And anyway, not to get too far ahead of myself, but we're here to talk about the point situation post round of 8, everything that went on, all the drama, all the chaos of the Martinsville cutoff races. They produced some chaos in real life, and it was really no different in the D1 and D2 series. So let's get into that right now. So we're going to start off talking about D2. They're obviously the lower series. No disrespect to D2. But we're going to talk about what happened in D2. So my prediction was that the drivers eliminated in the first round would be both the JGR cars, Spongy and Henry. And then I predicted Dan's and Sonata, I believe, would be eliminated. I got 3 out of those 4 right. The only one I did not get right was Sonata. Sonata advanced because he started showing up for races, and Paxton did not really show up for any races. Going into Martinsville, Spongy was actually above the cutoff line, but at Martinsville, he just had no speed. Actually ended up parking it early, along with Henry. He did make a promise before the race that he said no more Mr. Nice Guy. He took that personally. He had a colossal level meltdown at Martinsville. Had no speed. Had some anger, started taking it out on some of the other drivers. Was not pretty. So his season comes to an end. He's probably still going to be racing a little bit, but his quest for a championship is no more. So now the round of 8 is Shmi, Trey, Roach, Chase, who are all above the cutoff line, as you can see right now. Jose, Sonata, Asunder, and Cavo. So Shmi is pretty much locked into the next round. I predicted that Trey would win the championship, but he didn't really show me much in round 1. He was kind of invisible. He was sort of up there, but he really wasn't competing for wins. His teammate, though, Chase, actually picked up a win at Martinsville. That race was absolute chaos. The 2 late leaders, I forgot who it was. I'm pretty sure it was Meso and someone else. They essentially wrecked each other on the last lap. It was Jose, that's right. Jose had the dominant car and going for the win on the late race restart. He pushed it wide with another driver, allowing for Chase to swoop in and get the win. And the round of 8 schedule for for Division 2, it consists of Bristol, Myrtle Beach, and Atlanta. So the same as D1, except instead of coming here to Slinger for the opening round, they're going to go to Bristol, and that'll be a 200-lap race on Friday night. You will get a post race from me from that race. All right, now let's get into the real meat and potatoes here of the Division 1 series. Absolute chaos. Lots of beef coming out of that Martinsville race. A lot of ill will. So, let's talk about first thing about the race. There was clearly some fast cars, some real contenders. The fastest car out there was Joseph. He probably should have won the race, but the second fastest car, Hobbs, did end up winning the race. Joseph got basically wrecked himself late in the race, and this week he's coming into Slinger, and he's looking to be a contender once again, and I think he might even win this race. So that wasn't the only thing that that happened though at Martinsville, but the battle on the cutoff line going in, it was already going to be really cutthroat. Crowdy who was top three in the regular season, I believe, regular season points. He was below the cutoff line along with F. Sewell, Austin, and Cripple. So Crowdy got some stage points, was able to race his way in. Nyan was really slow on pace. He got in by 5 points. Yeah, it was 5 points. F. Sewell and Austin, they were fast. I mean, they were both really fast, good contenders. F. Sewell got points in stage one. However, stage two had an opportunity for some stage points and threw that away. We'll get to that in a second. Austin was up there all night, but he got into a position where he'd pretty much have to win. He had such a fast car, such a valiant effort for that 35 team. They have nothing to be ashamed of. This was a huge step up from last season. Yes, they have no win like they got last season, but they showed more speed and they were really consistent. Austin really has nothing to be ashamed of. He can hang his hat on. Like, this is a good season for him, and he can keep it going. Even though he won't be in the championship hunt, he can still, you know, ride some momentum going into next season. So now, F. Sewell, on the other hand, he had quite the day in Martinsville for sure. Action packed, if you will. He was below the cutoff line entering, but right away was really fast, got pole, was a top three car on speed right away, and it was looking good for F. Sewell. And it looked like that he may even point his way in. He wouldn't have to even win at Martinsville. Got some good stage points. Then stage two got in trouble with some lap traffic, specifically CJ. He was so mad at CJ that this went to court, but we'll never know what happened because we never got an actual view of this. So apparently, what happened is CJ and F. Sewell tangled, got bumper locked, and you can't control the D1 cars after they get bumper locked. F. Sewell went into the pit road barrels and lost a lot of track position. No stage points that stage. Stage three got into an incident with the 7 car, I believe, or the 78 in pit road, went a lap down, and could not just recover. Just an absolute biblical smackdown from the racing gods for Mr. F. Sulin, and he just could not recover all night. CHX, he was actually above the cutoff line by 1 point entering this race. However, he needed a sub as he could not make the race, and he's always fast at Martinsville. The reality racing cars usually are fast at Martinsville. However, K-Bell just could not do enough as CHX's sub to get him into the next round. As you can see, this is the cutoff results right here. Crowdy was able to race his way in after being below the cutoff line. Had a really good run, finished second. Nyan was actually a lap down for most of that back half of the race, but was able to keep his points position. CHX 5 points out. Austin with a great run, still 6 points out. Same with F. Sewell, 7 points out after a great run. So the guys who I predicted to be eliminated, which was CHX, Austin, F. Sewell, and Cripple, they were all eliminated. Cripple, unfortunately, just never stood a fighting chance. Not a good round of tracks for him. But we still love Cripple always, and we will always support him. So, heading into the next round, the round of 12, the round of 8, we now have Kappa, Joseph, Hobbs, who got 5 extra points for that win. That's going to be huge for him going to his next round. Nyan, the last car above the cutoff line, entering the round of 12. Then we have Crowdy, Mason, Alex, and CJ, who had 0 points to start the last round, but they won their first race of the season in the previous round. Those 5 extra playoff points, they're going to go far for them. Hopefully, maybe. Now looking at the round of 8 schedule, we started all here in Slinger, always a classic for USCL. Then we go to Myrtle Beach, which I believe will be the first time we go there. It's kind of like a Richmond, Iowa type short track, sort of. And then we go to Atlanta, which will be the round of 8 cutoff, and we will see who goes to the championship for there. That's a good line of tracks for some of these drivers. I look at guys like Mason to be good. Kappa always, especially at Atlanta. He's really good at Atlanta. Keep your eye out for Joseph because he's going to be fast here at Slinger. We don't know about Atlanta. He's always pretty iffy on the mile and a halves. But those are some guys I would just keep my eye out for Crowdy, the guy who I predicted would win the championship, much like Trey, who I also predicted would win the championship in D2, they both weren't really, that fast in the round of 12, but Crowdy had a great run in Martinsville, got some great momentum going into the next round. I'm still going to hold firm my prediction. I made my prediction that he would win the entire thing. So he has some momentum going to next round. But again, those first two races weren't kind to him, especially Talladega. So we'll see how he responds here in these next couple races. I believe he'll be pretty fast here at Slinger. So it's going to be a wild couple of nights. It's Wednesday right now. It's 2 days until D2 race day. You will get a post race out of me and hopefully some interviews after that. It's going to be crazy, especially in the D1 series. A lot of fallout from that Martinsville race. So we'll see how that affects the on-track racing product. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching the USCL Media channel. We will see you on Friday night. This is Mason signing off. Take care.